Madam President, Madam Commissioner and colleagues. When I was in Kenya leading the EU election observation mission, people would often ask whether we were holding Kenya or Africa to lower standards of democracy. The resounding answer is no. It is unacceptable to hold Kenya, or any country for that matter, to a lower standard. Instead, the EU assesses the extent to which elections meet Kenya's own legal standards and commitments under human rights and international law. Unfortunately, during the 2017 elections, people's rights were not always upheld and trust eroded. Our final report, which is available for everyone to read, looks at the gap between law and practice and gives 29 recommendations. The elections laid bare existing tensions and created new ones that all Kenyans suffer from. No, the standoff has not resulted in as many casualties as in the past, but every death, and every death by a police bullet, is one too many. Some Kenyans complained that the world only has attention for the country when tensions escalate into violence, and I believe the EU should be smarter and engage Kenya on core topics that benefit all Kenyans: strengthening the rule of law and good governance, supporting civil society and respect for human rights, fighting corruption and overcoming ethnic tensions. These are just a few areas that I think we hear not enough about, while we hear lots about countering terrorism and trade and other such issues. Anyone who has followed the discussions on Kenya knows that over the past week, strong words have been used against me. These statements have been revealing, but I hope mudslinging will not distract from the substantial discussion on our recommendations on electoral reform and on the joint way forward for Kenyans. I would like to thank the Commissioner, the External Action Service and colleagues for their words of support for the work of my team and the recommendations that we make. I'm glad that the EU speaks with one voice. I call on Kenya's political leaders from both sides to show constructive leadership and rebuild trust. Integrity should be baked into the electoral system, regardless of who's in charge, and the independence of institutions such as the judiciary should clearly be respected by all. Over the past days, when people read the more critical remarks in our report, they said, "But Kenya is the most successful country in East Africa." Yet, just because things could be worse, it doesn't mean that they're good or good enough. I remain convinced we should never hold Kenya to a lower standard, including on the respect for human rights. And I have met many Kenyans who are keen to enjoy the highest levels of democracy in their country. I wish them strength going forward and for the EU to be their principled partner. Thank you.